Hey guys, it's Daniel. Welcome back.
On February 8th, 1996, an article was published in Rolling Stone entitled Alice in Chains to Hell and Back. Written by John Widerhorn, the article explores various aspects of the band's history, as well as what things were like with the band at that point in time in '96. In early 1996, the band had recently released their self-titled third studio album, also known as The Dog Record, released on November 7th, 1995. The album deals with heavy subject matter such as depression, death, and drug use. Though of course these are themes which frequently appear in Alice in Chains recordings, the tone of the Dog album is particularly bleak. Furthermore, by early '96, Layne's health had very seriously declined as a result of his drug use. As a matter of fact, the last ever show the band played with Layne Staley took place a few months later on July 3rd of '96. In this Rolling Stone article, however, Layne Staley essentially denies that he has a serious drug problem. Reflecting on this and the Dog Record, John Widerhorn wrote the following, quote, "If Dirt was a diary of the pain and animosity caused by addiction, betrayal, and hypocrisy, Alice in Chains' self-titled record chronicles the bitter after effects of conflict seeking to reassemble the shattered pieces. We let stuff come straight out on this one," says Jerry Cantrell. "It was often depressing, and getting it done felt like pulling hair out. But it was the coolest thing, and I'm glad to have gone through it. I will cherish the memory forever." Layne Staley then adds, "I'll cherish it forever too, just because this one I can remember doing," he says, only half joking. Despite the evidence, Staley won't acknowledge that he still battles with heroin. "If I'm staying busy, and if I'm getting my job done, and I'm doing things I think are great, then I don't have a problem with anything, says Layne Staley. "If I live on just a strictly sugar diet, hey, I like it." He laughs weakly and nervously, then continues, "Nobody ever asks Meatloaf, 'What do you eat? Why do you eat so much? Shouldn't you lose some weight?' No, he shouldn't. He's Meatloaf. He writes songs and he has a great time, and none of your business. Maybe he eats meatloaf every night, People have a right to ask questions and dig deep when you're hurting people and things around you," Staley continues. "But when I haven't talked to anybody in years, and every article I see is dope this, junkie that, whiskey this, that ain't my title. Like, hi, I'm Layne, nail-biter, My bad habits aren't my title. My strengths and my talent are my title." Layne Staley's argument might carry more weight if he didn't write about using drugs. 5 songs on Dirt were about heroin, and several tracks on the Dog Record are drug-related. From the song Sludge Factory, for instance, there's the lyric, "Things go well, your eyes dilate, you shake and I'm high." Or from the song Head Creeps, there's the line, "No more time, just one more time." Yet, Layne says he's reluctant to talk about his addiction, not because he's embarrassed, but because he's worried his fans will think he's glorifying drugs. "I wrote about drugs, and I didn't think I was being unsafe or careless by writing about them," Layne says. "Here's how my thinking pattern went. When I tried drugs, they were great, and they worked for me for years, and now they're turning against me, and now I'm walking through hell, and this sucks. I didn't want my fans to think that heroin was cool, but then I've had fans come up to me and give me the thumbs up, telling me they're high. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen." Although Layne Staley won't go into any details about his past or present drug use, he admits to having an addictive personality. "When I'm not doing drugs, I eat," he says, "and I binge and I gain 20 pounds, and I work out, and when I start working out, I go crazy on it. I can't do anything in small doses. If I sat there and said, I'm 90 days sober and easy does it, stay the course, I'd be full of it, because I'm not 90 days sober. But I'm not in the bathroom getting high either. But 2 years ago, I would have been. It's not something I think about. It's not something I wake up and have to go find," says Layne Staley. The Dog Record was recorded in 4.5 months, but few of the songs had actually been written when the band entered the studio last April in '95. Using the riffs that Cantrell had written as beacons, Alice in Chains jammed until they had a framework for the tunes. Then they handed the tapes to Layne Staley, who cobbled together most of the lyrics. "I just wrote down whatever was on my mind," says Layne. "So a lot of the lyrics are really loose. If you ask me to sing the lyrics to probably any one of them right now, I couldn't do it. I'm not sure what they are because they're still that fresh."